A single sentence can change a life, and that night, when the exhausted CEO stepped toward her office door, she had no idea the janitor's trembling whisper would expose a truth powerful enough to tear her world apart. She had just reached for the handle when a rough but gentle hand covered her mouth. "Don't go inside," he whispered, and everything, her future, her past, her beliefs, began to shift. He had been invisible to her for years. A single dad janitor who worked quietly, cleaned silently, and never caused trouble. She barely knew his name. But in the next moments, he would become the only person she could trust. Her heart thundered. His hand slowly lowered once he saw she wouldn't scream. "There's someone in there," he breathed. "Someone who shouldn't be." A cold shiver crawled across her spine. She was the CEO. Nobody should be in her office past 7 p.m. Especially not tonight, not with the confidential file she had left on her desk, the file that could expose her company's biggest betrayal. Her voice broke softly. "How do you know?" He hesitated, almost as if battling himself, "Because," he said, "my daughter heard them. She's waiting downstairs. She didn't want to scare you, but she insisted I come." The CEO blinked. His daughter? The little girl she had seen a few times, quiet, shy, always sitting on a bench with a coloring book while her father worked double shifts. What did she hear? She whispered. "A man," he said. "A man talking to someone on the phone. He said you wouldn't see tomorrow coming." Her breath hitched, and suddenly, this stranger, this janitor, became her shield. He gently guided her away from the door, down the hallway that suddenly felt colder, darker, narrower. Her heels clicked too loudly. Her breaths felt too rapid. And he moved calmly, but she could see the tension in his fists, the fear behind his practiced steadiness. When they reached the stairwell, he stopped. "You're not safe here." "I have to protect my company," she said. That file is exactly why they're after you," he cut in firmly. "I know what's inside it." She stared at him in shock. "I wasn't trying to," he added quickly. I saw the cover when you dropped it yesterday. And I heard someone talking about it on the phone. I didn't mean to listen, but," his voice cracked slightly, "I have a daughter. And people who do things like that, they don't stop at just one person." Her chest tightened. She had never thought about the quiet man who cleaned her office as someone carrying fears, burdens, or responsibilities. She had never pictured him holding his daughter's hand at night worrying about survival. "Why help me?" she asked. This time, his voice was steady. "Because I know what it's like when the powerful don't care who they hurt. And I won't let my daughter grow up in a world where good people are scared to tell the truth." They reached the ground floor. His daughter, a tiny girl with curly hair and a worried face, ran to him. "Daddy? Is she okay?" He knelt and hugged her. "We're all okay, sweetheart." The CEO surprised even herself by kneeling too. "What did you hear?" she asked softly. The little girl looked at her father for permission, then whispered, "They said your name." That was enough. Her pulse raced. The betrayal was no longer abstract. It had a voice. It had footsteps. It had intentions. "Come with me," the janitor said. "I have a safe place nearby." She hesitated. Trust was not something she gave easily. But fear has a way of removing barriers. "Lead the way." His apartment was small, quiet, worn, and filled with warmth. His daughter curled into a blanket while he handed the CEO a glass of water. "You don't owe me anything," he said gently. "Just stay here until we figure out what to do." She looked around the modest space, the peeling paint, the patched curtains, the tiny kitchen, but everything felt more genuine than her penthouse office. "Why didn't you ever ask for help?" she asked. That he gave a tired smile. "Didn't think anyone would care." Her throat tightened. "I care now." Hours passed. Plans were made. She called security she trusted. He kept watch at the window. When dawn broke, the sun painted the small apartment in gold. Her phone buzzed, a message from her head of security. "That we caught him. You were right." The file was the target. She exhaled shakily, but as the relief washed over her, something heavier settled on her heart. The awareness of the man sitting quietly near the door, exhausted but vigilant, the janitor who saved her, the father who risked everything, the person she had overlooked for years. She walked to him slowly. "You protected my life," she said. "Let me protect yours." He shook his head. "I don't want anything." "I know," she said, sitting beside him. "And that's exactly why you deserve everything." She offered him a job, not a promotion, not a favor, not charity. A partnership. A position that matched his integrity, his intelligence, his courage. "You saw what no one else did," she said. "And you acted when others would have run. I need someone like you beside me." His eyes widened. His daughter peeked from the blanket, hope flickering in her gaze. "Are you sure?" he asked. She smiled. "Last night, you were the only one I could trust. And trust is worth more than any degree, any title, any experience." He swallowed hard. "Then, yes." Weeks later, the company whispered about the CEO's new advisor, the former janitor with quiet confidence and eyes that had seen too much. They whispered even more when she started walking him through the floors with pride, not secrecy. And every time they passed by the office where it all could have ended, she felt a shiver, because she remembered the hand that stopped her, the whisper that saved her life. "Don't go inside." 3 words that changed everything. 3 words that built a bond between a powerful woman, a humble father, and a brave little girl. 3 words that reminded them all that heroes don't wear suits or hold titles. Sometimes, they just hold a mop in one hand, and their child's hand in the other, and still choose to save someone else.